Coach, thanks for spending some time with us today. Second year in a row, you've got a Power 4 game on the schedule. We've got a couple more coming up in the future. Kind of share what this opportunity means to you and the guys.
Yeah, I think it's, like you said, the key word is a great opportunity for our players. It'll be a great venue against a really good team. Our guys know the challenge in front of them. And I think, they'll get great effort, great focus all week, getting the chance to play Louisville, who I think is, and I said the other day, I think they're probably the best team in the ACC, at least one of the best teams. And I think they played for the championship last year, and Coach Braum and his staff do a great job. So it's all right. I think our guys will be excited for the challenge.
Share your overall impressions on the Cardinals.
Very athletic. They got experienced quarterback who's been around a little bit. I got a lot of respect for him, and he's been a proven guy. And they got really good skilled players. The first game they got up so big so early, it was kind of hard to judge, and they probably just for the most of the second half didn't show a whole lot because they didn't have to. So it'll be very, very talented team, plays hard, and like I said, they've got good players across the board, but we do too. We got good players, and it'll be a fun game.
Questions for Coach?
Is it tough to get a good scout on them or a good report with the fact they didn't have to play everybody much?
Yeah, a little bit. You could obviously look at last year's games as well, and I'm sure they're doing the same. It's hard to get a lot off of just one game anyway, but you see a little bit of their personnel, some of their new personnel. They got some guys out of the portal, including their quarterback. And their scheme-wise, I think they're probably pretty similar scheme-wise what they did last year on both sides of the ball. But, Coach Braum has a few wrinkles too. Obviously, played against them before, and they always have a few new things that you got to try to be ready for.
Is he a dual threat quarterback?
Tyler, he can run, but they'll throw the ball. They're not a quarterback run kind of oriented offense. It's a more pro style, I guess you would say. Throw the ball around a little bit. They got good enough skilled players that they can run it if they want with a quarterback, but he's an impressive guy, and I think he's been in, I don't know how many years he's been in, but he's a sharp guy. You could tell he's learned the system, and the first game, of course, it was over pretty quickly, but this guy's been in a lot of big games before.
What did film show from the Coastal game?
We didn't pretty much what I thought. We didn't play well, and it wasn't like everybody on every play. It seemed like there was just one guy on just about every play on both sides of the ball that maybe messed up. So I didn't see anything that we couldn't fix, but I also saw things that we had to fix, and that was part of we had extra 2 days, I guess, afterwards to try to fix from what we did wrong in the first game, and then try to get ready for the next game.
How fast do you move on from that game? I've been on teams in the past where we didn't even watch the film at all, and then teams where we harped on every single play. What's the balance?
Yeah, that's a good point. Normally, it's just the 24-hour rule. Whether you win or lose, you take 24 hours to really evaluate what you did well, what you didn't do well, and we probably took a little more than 24 hours just because we had the extra day. But beyond that, you got to move on. If you linger whether it's good or bad, you linger too long, it's going to affect in the next game. So I think our guys done a good job of that. After a couple of days, we got back to work, had a little walkthrough Saturday. I thought we had a pretty good practice for a Sunday practice. We had a pretty good practice on Sunday, and today and tomorrow, I'll see if their focus and attention is. But I would be shocked if our guys aren't ready to play another game. Just the sooner you play another game, the better you can get the last one out of your mind, so to speak.
What are the things you feel like you've got to fix?
Well, there's a lot of stuff. There was some mental, some physical. So there's a little combination of everything. Coaching wise, we've got to fix some things we're doing. And like I said, defensively, sometimes we had a busted coverage or a guy in the wrong gap, or offensively, we may not have been perfect in our technique or some of the things we need to do. So, I don't want to say that's typical first game stuff, because we shouldn't have had that at any game. But at the same time, we've got to get better and we have to be better. And I know we can play better than what we did in the first game.
What is the
How's the quarterback picture stand right now?
Yeah, still got, in my opinion, 2 starting quarterbacks in Logan and Tyler. Not sure who's the first one's going to be out there just yet, but and then Zion I think is ready to go, and we also have Caden Creel and Tayshawn Smoot. So we have some depth at quarterback, and there wasn't a good game for us the first game from anybody, but we can play better. I got a lot of confidence in those guys, all of our quarterbacks, that they can play some really good football.
Louisville's defensive line has 3 or 4 legit NFL prospects up front. Is that something that kind of shrinks the play sheet when you're game plan and expands it because you have to get more creative? How do you go about?
Well, yeah, you run the risk if you're thinking, geez, we're not going to be able to do this and this, and then you kind of add a whole bunch of stuff and you wind up confusing your guys and what we're good at doing. We get away from because we're afraid we can't do it against them, and so you wind up making the thing worse because you're practicing new plays. We got to get better what we do well, and I think our guys know that. Now this is going to be, you make a little mistake against teams this talented, it'll show up even more. So, we'll do what we do. We'll maybe try to add a few things here and there and be aware that, hey, these guys are going to be hard to block or block for very long, but at the same time, we got to run our stuff.
What was your opinion about being able to use the iPad?
I think it was okay. I thought it was pretty beneficial. I mean, we got to know right away some of the things that were happening. I think it helps. I mean, the coaches in the box traditionally usually can see that anyway if you got experienced coaches and they can see that. But the iPads, I think, allowed us to – it was probably made it more frustrating, but it allowed us to see right away, at least on the sidelines during some of the time, to try to fix it, or at least let the players see. I mean, you can ask the players, but I think some of those guys I thought did a good job of looking at it and kind of recognizing what was happening.
Other questions for Coach?
Defensively, I imagine the rushing yards are a concern because you guys defend the rush pretty well, or haven't had.
Yeah.
What can you do about that?
Yeah, we just, we weren't good technically. We weren't good schematically. They did some stuff to us in the last game. Not to keep harping on the last game because we've moved on, but we have to fix some things this week fundamentally, and then as coaches we're trying to find some things that our guys can do well, and things that won't confuse them. That was the disappointing part. Like I said, it wasn't everybody on every play, but sometimes on defense, one guy, offense, one guy screws up, it's 2nd and 10. Defense, one guy screws up, it could be a touchdown. So there's a little bit more of urgency on defense for everybody to be on the right page, doing the right things, technique-wise and assignment-wise.
How much of that is that you've got so many new starters and so many new players to begin with?
Yeah, there's more new starters, I guess, defensively, because what we had for graduation or whatever guys had left, probably a little bit more experience. So no matter what scheme we were running, we were going to have more inexperience, at least in our offense, in our defense than what we had before. But we've had 4 weeks of camp, and we've had a couple weeks to get ready. So our guys can play better, we can coach them better, and I would be surprised if we don't play better defensively this weekend.
Zachariah Poyser, he had a really good start to the game, really good first half, made a ton of plays, really caught my eye. Was that a guy that you were expecting to have that kind of impact immediately?
Yeah, very athletic. We knew last year when we signed him, he was a young guy. So this guy's got a lot of skills. He's an athletic guy. He can, he's going to have a great future here. And he had a good camp, and he's active. I think he's still, again, that was really his first extensive playing time. So I think he'll continue to get better.
He had the long touchdown late in the contest. Kind of walk us through, in your eyes, how that play unfolded and then go into the end zone.
So looked like it was like cover 0, cover 1, outside leverage with the safety. Huff was at quarterback, so we just had a little kind of slant route. And really, as soon as I broke, the ball was already thrown, and I just did what I could do after that.
Awesome. Questions for Michael?
You also had a couple of nice blocks in that game, and I know blocking isn't the first thing a receiver thinks about. What have you done to try to make yourself a factor in there?
I mean, I just try to just be a team player, like can't be selfish. I want the ball, running backs want the ball, other receivers want the ball, but in order for us to win, we have to win as a team. So if I have to block on every play, a whole drive, then I guess that's what I have to do.
Michael, share a thought on getting the chance to go play at Louisville, play in a Power 4 team this week.
Nah, it's gonna be fun. It's exciting for sure. It's just awesome. It's the biggest stage of it all. So I know a lot of guys are ready to play. I know I'm ready to play. We're just excited to just get the show on the road.
What did you all take from the South Carolina game last year that might be useful, playing in that kind of environment?
Really just staying calm during really everything. If things go good, things go bad, you can't really let the moment get too big, and you just kind of got to stay level-headed.
What have you guys been doing to move forward from Thursday?
It's really kind of self-explanatory. We watch the film, we learn from our corrections, learn from our mistakes, and we just move on. Like Coach said, 24-hour rule. We don't sit there. We don't dwell on it. It's in the past now. It's already happened, and the best that we can do is just learn from our mistakes and be better.
Coach mentioned the technology as well, having the screens on the sideline. How much did that help you as a player to be able to visualize what your coaches were talking about?
It definitely does help out a lot more because, you get a visual of what just happened, so you can kind of go out there the next series, and if you can either expect it or you can be not expect it, but you can expect something and try to work off of that or just be better from it.
Thanks for your time. Oh, go ahead.
One more.
Mm-hmm.
Among the many things you do well, you're a good kick returner. Is that something you like to do? Did you do that in high school?
Yeah. So I did that in high school. That's probably one of my favorite things to do. But I just do really what I'm coached. Sometimes coach wants to bring it out. Sometimes he just doesn't. So it is what it is.
Well, let's talk about the forced fumble that you had in the first quarter on Thursday. As soon as you saw the bat go over the line, was that just instinct to go after the football?
Before every play, I'm always thinking, you got to make sudden decisions on defense and react when things happen. So when he jumped, I thought, okay, I need to fight this pressure with him jumping and not just, go up and just bring him down, but try to make an impact on that ball and really try to put some force on it.
Just defense as a whole, what did you all learn from that first game?
We learned that we got to communicate a lot, in all aspects and do our job. We play hard all the time, but we just got to learn that doing our job and making plays within your job is key. Sometimes guys get bored of doing what they're supposed to do, and then a small mistake can lead to big things, and they snowball.
Same question that Michael got. What was it like having that visual, that overhead look as a defensive player? Did it give you a little bit better advantage on those adjustments in game?
Oh, yeah, it definitely did because, you get to see the numbers and everything that's going on. Also the leverage. As a linebacker, you seeing how the line moving and things because, at times things can move fast during the game and you could be trying to get a check and all, but when you get to see that on the sideline, it'll slow a lot of things down and you know what to expect for formations. Also new formations that they'll bust out during the game.
First game under the new defensive coordinator, do you guys feel like you communicated well, at least out there in the first game, or is that something you need to get better on moving forward?
Yeah, I feel like we definitely need to get better on communication at some points, but that's the thing. First game, some people have first game jitters, but we harping on that this week. Definitely having an emphasis on that in the meeting room, and on the field.
Have you simplified a little bit this week? Coach mentioned maybe y'all were trying to do too much.
We left some things. We added some things. We took some things out. So, I don't think it was too. I don't think it was just too much. It's just we had to communicate more and all be on the same page. I feel like it's pretty simple, but confusion can set in when you hear some people saying the wrong thing, and bullets start flying. But I think we're gonna be good this week, and I feel like everybody coming with a different level of focus.
What excites you about getting the chance to go on the road and play Louisville?
what excites me is just going out there, being able to, you know, compete and play. I don't never think too much of when we play on P14s because I'm just used to it. I'm used to playing on those different teams, but I do know it's an opportunity. Like they're gonna see what you did during the big game, and you know I'm gonna try to keep our guys up and remind them of that every day because it is a big opportunity and we gotta perform.